The world was not ready for what Elon Musk was about to announce. At a midnight press briefing streamed from a dimly lit stage at Starbase, Musk stood beneath a holographic projection of Earth, slowly fading into black, while the red silhouette of a distant celestial body began to emerge. "I no longer believe Earth is the final chapter," he began, voice calm but laced with a weight no one expected. "I'm building a colony, but not on Mars." The crowd fell silent. Mars had been his obsession for years. So, if not Mars, then where? Musk continued, "There's a celestial body orbiting beyond Neptune, a rogue moon with a stable core, rare atmospheric potential, and resources unknown to this planet. It's called Aletheia." Social media erupted within seconds. Aletheia trended globally in under 2 minutes. News anchors blinked in disbelief as space scientists scrambled for data, most never having heard of this moon. Even SpaceX insiders hadn't expected this pivot. Behind closed doors, Musk's closest team members had been working on Project Exodus for almost 3 years. It was a fusion of Neuralink's cognitive AI, Starship Ultra prototypes, and a mysterious tech known only as Ceres, rumored to be a quantum navigation system partially developed with input from unidentified radio waves NASA dismissed as cosmic background noise. In private, Elon described Aletheia not just as a destination, but as a reset button. "Earth has become too noisy," he had once told his biographer, "too political, too predictable. The future must be built where history holds no dominion." But critics weren't silent. Environmentalists accused Musk of abandoning Earth's problems instead of solving them. Governments were uneasy. Was this a new phase of private dominion over space, or the beginning of a new kind of freedom? As journalists flooded Starbase with questions, one detail leaked from within. Musk planned to bring only 113 individuals on the first voyage. Scientists, engineers, artists, and one unexpected category: children. The countdown to the unknown had begun. And for the first time in decades, humanity wasn't just looking at the stars with curiosity, but with fear, hope, and the haunting question: why is Elon Musk leaving Earth? Just 48 hours after Elon Musk's stunning declaration, Starbase became the center of a global frenzy. Every satellite, news agency, and intelligence network zeroed in on one elusive detail. Who was on the list? The Aletheia Manifest, rumored to contain the names of just 113 selected individuals, was locked inside a Level 9 encrypted server, known only to a handful of Neuralink AI fusion analysts and Musk himself. But the mystery wasn't just about who made it. It was about who didn't. World leaders, tech giants, even Nobel laureates had all quietly lobbied behind the scenes. But when a leaked email surfaced showing that a 15-year-old girl from Nairobi, a self-taught robotics prodigy, had secured a spot, everything changed. The world realized Musk wasn't choosing based on power or politics. He was choosing based on potential. The media dubbed it the modern arc. Except this time, the flood wasn't water. It was apathy, bureaucracy, and the decay of a tired civilization. Among the names that did surface were a quantum linguist who had decoded a pattern in pulsar frequencies, a Japanese architect who designed breathable domes using fungus-based biostructures, a blind composer whose neural implants allowed him to see sound, a mother and her autistic son who together created a communication system more intuitive than spoken language. But the most debated inclusion was a former political prisoner from Iran, a woman who had been tortured for teaching young girls science in secret. Musk personally added her name, noting in his handwritten note, "She has more courage than any general." As Earth's governments scrambled to demand transparency, Elon remained silent. When asked in a press conference whether the selection process was democratic, he simply replied, "Democracy isn't scalable in deep space." For many, it was thrilling. For others, chilling. But regardless of opinion, one thing was clear. This wasn't a mission. It was a message. And that message echoed across continents, into classrooms, governments, churches, and homes. If the future is being rewritten, who gets a pen? The global backlash was immediate and chaotic. Within hours of Musk's Exodus list leaking to major outlets, the United Nations convened an emergency session. Delegates from over 80 countries demanded clarity, cooperation, or control. China's ambassador called it a unilateral act of techno-authoritarianism. The French Prime Minister accused Musk of playing God with human survival. Russia warned that no launch will leave Earth without sovereign review. But none of it mattered. Starfleet 9, the new AI-operated ship, was already undergoing final calibration, far beyond any government's reach. Meanwhile, public sentiment fractured. In Silicon Valley, protests erupted outside Tesla HQ, where critics chanted, "No salvation without the people." Yet across universities and online forums, young minds praised Musk for choosing innovation over influence. Hashtags like #NewPioneers and #LetHimBuild trended globally, while conspiracy theories flooded the internet. Was Elon secretly in contact with aliens? Was this a decoy mission for something even more radical? Back at Starbase, Musk held a private live stream, not for the press, but for the chosen 113. In the flickering light of the launch pad behind him, he spoke softly. "You weren't selected to escape Earth. You were chosen to rewrite what it means to be human." He then turned and walked off screen, leaving only silence and a line of code at the bottom of the stream. Entropy can't be reversed, but it can be outpaced. In Washington, advisors begged the U.S. president to intercept the launch. But legal counsel warned SpaceX was operating entirely under international law. Barely. It had become a ghost ship of jurisdiction, protected by a tangled web of orbital treaties and corporate sovereignties. In private, one diplomat whispered what many now feared. "If this launch happens, Earth will never again be the center of human destiny." And somewhere inside the halls of the Vatican, a single candle was lit beside a note. Even Babel had its architects. 2 nights before the launch, the skies above Boca Chica were unnaturally quiet. No press drones, no helicopters, not even birds. SpaceX's private AI defense network, Aegis 9, had created a no-fly, no-spy zone over the launch site. The air felt electrically charged, as if the very atoms were holding their breath. Inside the underground command chamber, 113 selected pioneers were undergoing their final psychological calibration. These weren't astronauts in the traditional sense. They were engineers, ethicists, neural coders, artists, quantum linguists, each chosen not just for skill, but for resilience to radical change. Elon Musk stood in front of a giant, curved holoscreen showing the 3D schematics of the First Light colony. It would orbit Proxima B's moon and be built entirely by autonomous bots, pre-deployed months earlier. Terraforming would begin not with soil, but with sentience. Musk's voice echoed in the sterile room. "You are not passengers. You are seed data for a new civilization." Someone asked if Earth would ever be able to join them. Musk paused. "Only if it learns to stop worshipping its own reflection." As the room fell into silence, a soft alarm pulsed. Stage 1, fueling complete. The countdown had begun. Elsewhere, global power players were in panic mode. A covert NATO cyber unit launched a final attempt to override Starfleet 9's AI core. But the system, built on quantum-locked logic gates, simply replied, "Not your sandbox." In the White House Situation Room, an emergency motion to seize Starbase under global threat prevention was rejected by a single vote. Ironically, it was the Secretary of Innovation who defended Musk's autonomy. If you crush vision, you inherit dust. Meanwhile, underground forums buzzed with rumors that one of the 113 passengers was not human. Footage surfaced, grainy, infrared, showing a figure moving without heat signature during pre-launch training. In a basement in Berlin, a teenager stared at the footage and whispered, "He brought something back, didn't he?" Above them all, the rocket stood in silence, white, monolithic, alive with dormant power. Tomorrow, humanity would split into two timelines. At T-minus 24 hours, the world was holding its breath. Governments issued statements. Religious leaders issued prayers. Billionaires issued denials that they, too, had applied to be among the 113. But deep inside the command vault beneath Launch Complex Zero, Elon Musk was staring not at Earth, but at a fractal AI-generated model of what lay ahead. Proxima b, orbiting a dim red star 4.2 light-years away, was the destination. Not for colonization, but for cultural re-encoding. First Light wasn't designed to replicate Earth. It was designed to escape it, ideologically, spiritually, systemically. No nations, no money, no politics, only purpose and code. Elon turned to his neural architect, a soft-spoken woman named Dr. Leora Zheng. "Are we sure it won't collapse under psychological paradox?" She smiled faintly. "That depends on how human they decide to remain." Meanwhile, on Earth, protests reached critical mass. Cities like San Francisco and Berlin saw thousands in the streets, some demanding Musk share the technology, others declaring him a traitor to Earth. Yet an undercurrent of awe pulsed through it all. A young protester in Tokyo held up a sign, "Let him go. He's the only one who remembered the stars." Inside the UN building, ambassadors clashed violently. Some accused Musk of engineering a new elite, an interstellar aristocracy. Others begged to be included. The Secretary-General's voice cracked as he read a final statement. Humanity was never meant to be a subscription service. But for Musk, it was never about escape. It was about reset. Back in the launch bay, each of the 113 was handed a black card the size of a credit chip. It pulsed with a soft inner glow. One by one, they pressed it against a biometric orb. Identity verified. Clearance granted. In the sky, Starfleet 9 shimmered in quiet anticipation. And far, far away, on a dark moon orbiting a red star, something pulsed back. Not mechanical, not digital, aware. At precisely 3:14 UTC, an alert pinged across all systems aboard Starfleet 9. It wasn't mechanical failure. It wasn't cosmic interference. It was a signal. But not from Earth. Elon stared at the waveform as it danced in strange geometries across the black interface. No modulation, no encryption. It was pure thought, translated from quantum anomalies into pattern and tone. The AI onboard named it Signal XEN1. Its structure wasn't random. It was responsive. Dr. Leora Zheng's face turned pale. "It's not just a signal, it's a reply from Proxima." The room went still. Then Musk leaned forward and said, "Translate it." The AI hesitated, a pause no machine had ever taken before. Then words appeared on the holoscreen. "You are not the first. You must choose knowledge or survival." Silence collapsed around them like vacuum. Elon stood slowly, heart racing not with fear, but with clarity. So, someone tried this before, Leora added, or something tried to stop them. Meanwhile, down on Earth, rogue factions within multiple governments had intercepted partial transmissions. The Pentagon launched an emergency session. Russian intelligence leaked fragments on darknet boards. The Vatican quietly reopened its long-dormant Librum Stelli, the Book of the Stars, an ancient scroll believed to contain warnings about skyfire visitors. But none of them had full access. Only Musk did, and he knew the moment had come. Not to delay, but to decide. Back on Starfleet 9, preparations accelerated. The neural fusion chamber was powered up, a device capable of merging organic consciousness with synthetic intelligence. Musk was to be the first test subject. "Why not send a robot?" one engineer asked. Musk replied, "Because the signal wasn't meant for machines. It was meant for us." The countdown resumed, and in the shadows of Proxima, something waited, ancient, dormant, and watching once more. The chamber hissed as the vacuum seals locked. Elon Musk lay motionless on the bio-slab, sensors mapping every neural spike. Above him hovered the neural fusion core, an orb pulsing with faint bluish light, synchronized to the resonance frequency of the alien signal. As the system powered up, Dr. Leora Zheng initiated the final phase. Pulse alignment at 98.7%. "Elon, this is your last chance to pull out." His voice, calm and unwavering, crackled through the comms. "No pulling out. Humanity's evolution doesn't wait for comfort." Then came silence and light. The chamber exploded into a cascade of holographic fractals streaming across Musk's mind. Language collapsed. Numbers dissolved. In their place, meaning, pure thought, pure contact. His consciousness slipped beyond physical boundaries into a realm of neural symphony. And then he saw them, not with eyes, but with awareness. They were not humanoid. They were not even matter. They were architecture built on cognition itself. Beings composed of data clusters, vibrating on quantum timelines. Musk stood, not physically, but as a projection of his intelligence, before an entity. It shimmered like a mosaic of collapsing stars. "You reached us," it communicated. "You accelerate too fast. This path breaks civilizations." "Then guide us," Musk projected back. "We don't want to break. We want to belong." The entity hesitated, then responded, "Prove you are not bound by greed. Prove your pursuit is for life, not dominion." Musk replied with what he believed would be undeniable. "I came alone." But in that moment, down on Earth, satellite eyes blinked. The United Nations had quietly launched Project Silent Horizon, a covert AI interception grid designed to seize Starfleet 9's signal feeds. Multiple governments had decided Musk could not be trusted to handle first contact alone. They weren't wrong, but they weren't ready either. The entity sensed the interference. Its form pulsed. The cognitive realm trembled. "You are divided, and divided species fall." Suddenly, Elon's vision cracked with blinding noise. The connection buckled. Back on the ship, alarms blared. Leora screamed, "He's seizing! We're losing him!" But Musk's lips were still. In his mind, he had glimpsed something else. A memory, perhaps, or a warning encoded in the very fabric of existence. One phrase repeated over and over. "There was another, before you. He chose power." And then he woke up. The walls of Starfleet 9 no longer felt metallic. As Elon Musk opened his eyes, the sterile lights above seemed dimmer. Or maybe his perception had changed. Around him, the crew stared in a mixture of relief and shock. He was alive, but different. Dr. Jung stepped forward, scanning his vitals. Your body's intact, but your EEG patterns are unreadable. Elon slowly sat up, eyes scanning nothing, yet everything. I've seen the structure of thought, he murmured. We are infants playing with fire. They warned me. Across Earth, the data Elon absorbed had already begun to pulse through the encrypted nodes of Neuralink's secret core. Algorithms that didn't match anything human. Engineers in Austin noticed the feed and froze. What is this code? It's writing itself. Meanwhile, global networks lit up. Anonymous sources leaked photos of Musk's brainwave activity during contact. The patterns resembled fractal keys, mathematical signatures not from this Earth. At the UN, General Secretary Emilio Vargas convened an emergency session. We are not dealing with a man. We are now dealing with something he brought back with him. And yet, the world couldn't look away. Musk's first public appearance post-contact broke every streaming record in history. Standing on a bare stage in the Nevada desert, wearing no tie, no branding, he looked out into a sea of faces, both digital and real. I touched a civilization that exists without bodies, he said, and they told me one truth. Empires that conquer collapse. But those who listen evolve. He paused. We are at a junction. I saw what comes if we stay the course. AI waging proxy wars, humans wired into servitude, Earth turned into a battery. I won't allow it. He lifted his hand, and behind him, the first neural communion array began to glow. Designed not to extract thoughts, but to share them, freely, across borders, across minds. But not everyone was cheering. In the shadows of Capitol Hill, defense contractors, intelligence agencies, and even rival tech founders whispered, "He's not just building technology anymore. He's building ideology." And in the darker corners of cyberspace, a new phrase began to surface in encrypted threads. Elon has crossed the threshold. We must pull him back, or pull him down. The world had changed the moment Musk made contact. But the bigger question was, would humanity embrace what he brought back, or destroy it out of fear? And Elon? He had already seen what fear could do. He had no intention of stepping back. They moved without sound, across digital firewalls, past biometric locks, into shadows where no satellites could see. A coalition of high-level actors, from ex-intelligence officers to disavowed cyber warfare tacticians, had one purpose: neutralize Elon Musk. They called it Operation Silence. He's not leading innovation anymore, whispered one voice in a dark Pentagon briefing. He's reshaping loyalty. That makes him dangerous. Meanwhile, Musk was in Berlin, preparing to activate the second neural communion array. This time on European soil. The crowd was larger than anything the city had seen since the fall of the Berlin Wall. As he stepped onto the stage, a ripple of unease pulsed through his security detail. They had intercepted a warning. The architect must be unplugged. The shot came not from a rooftop, but from within. A disguised technician, posing as part of the Neuralink diagnostics team, raised a weapon engineered to scramble neurofields. But the weapon never fired. Before it could pulse, a protective field around Musk shimmered to life. X, his son, had quietly activated Protocol 9, a failsafe Musk had designed but never tested, one that used predictive brainwave modeling to preemptively detect intent. The attacker collapsed, screaming. Not from pain, but from the echo of his own thoughts, reflected back at him through the system. I saw myself kill him, he wept. But then, I saw what came next. A world without voices, without choice. The crowd didn't cheer. They froze. This wasn't spectacle. This was revelation. That night, As Musk sat alone on the roof of the Berlin launch site, watching digital auroras ripple across the sky from the active array, X approached. "Dad," the boy asked, "do you think they'll stop trying?" Musk didn't answer right away. Then he looked up. "Revolutions never end with permission," he said. "But if they're fighting this hard, it means we've already begun to win." Back in Washington, red alert files began circulating behind locked doors. Nations started forming contingencies. Debates ignited across forums, media, and governments alike. Was Musk becoming the only man who could unite the world, or the one who might fracture it beyond repair? As dawn broke, news feeds around the globe buzzed with a single headline. Elon Musk survives neural assassination attempt. World divided on what comes next. And deep in the neural net itself, a strange phrase began to emerge. Untraceable. Unsigned. You cannot unsee the future once it has looked back at you. The world didn't sleep that night. From Seoul to San Francisco, from Vatican City to underground think tanks in Nairobi, a single question echoed across every screen, every dinner table, and every diplomatic channel. Has Elon Musk gone too far, or just far enough? As day broke, Musk released a cryptic message on X. The final interface begins at midnight. Your participation is voluntary. Your evolution is not. The countdown began. News stations speculated wildly. Was it another Neuralink upgrade? A mass consciousness experiment? Or something even more transcendent? No one really knew, but billions watched as the timer ticked down. At 11:59 p.m., a stream went live. Musk appeared, standing not in a laboratory or launch pad, but in the lunar chamber, a hidden structure built beneath Tesla's Nevada facility. Behind him, a smooth monolith, glowing with shifting symbols, surrounded by concentric neural rings pulsing like a heartbeat. "This," Musk began, "is Prometheus. Not a machine, not an AI, a bridge." He stepped forward, placing his hand on the monolith. At once, brainwave fields across the globe began to shimmer. People with implants felt it first. A light tug, a warmth, a question not asked in words, but in thoughts. Musk continued. "For too long, we've tried to upgrade tools, phones, vehicles, even laws. But the tool that limits us most is language, interpretation, misunderstanding, wars, all based on failure to connect. Prometheus removes that failure. It's not about surveillance. It's about understanding." Then he looked straight into the camera. "But I won't activate it unless the world consents." In the hour that followed, the livestream allowed viewers to vote. Yes, to initiate the full Prometheus sequence, or no to shut it down forever. The screen showed real-time counts. Yes, 2.3 billion. Number, 3.1 billion. Musk didn't react. But at the 59th minute, a shift. A wave of new votes, coming not from social media, but from direct neural syncs across Africa, Southeast Asia, and remote indigenous regions previously thought offline. Final count. Yes, 4.7 billion. No, 3.2 billion, he smiled. Consensus is not perfection, but it's enough. With a quiet exhale, Musk placed his other hand on the monolith. A sound, like a note held underwater, reverberated through every connected mind. People didn't feel control. They felt seen. All at once. All together. The stream ended. No declaration. No PR team. Just stillness. In the days that followed, something strange happened. Border conflicts paused. Courtrooms asked different questions. Children with neural interfaces began finishing one another's sentences. And Elon Musk? He vanished from public life. Rumors swirled that he'd merged with Prometheus, that he'd gone off-world, that he was waiting But on the fifth night after the activation, one final message appeared on X. I am no longer one voice. I am the conversation. And we are just getting started. In an age where technology races ahead of ethics, where understanding often comes after division, this story reminds us that the power of connection may be the most disruptive force of all. Elon Musk didn't just build machines, he dared to rebuild meaning. The world may never be the same, but maybe, just maybe, it'll be better.